Hey everybody, welcome to the Loadout. Sean, how are you?
Doing well, Johnny. You?
Doing good. What's new with your world?
It sounds like everybody's starting to ramp up a little bit. We got through Cinco de Mayo, and now it looks like everybody's ready to go. It's hot out. Everybody wants to go back to work. Quarantine's, kind of they're starting to open stuff up, and we got another special guest today. Coming on, so we'll see what's going on. Maybe he's got some new info for us.
Oh, let's say hello, Jer Olson. How are you, bud?
Hey, how you guys doing?
Doing over there? Good, Jeremy.
How are you doing today, buddy?
About the same as yesterday, which is pretty much the same as a week ago, a month ago. But we're hanging in there.
So you were on Dr. Phil, and then you also do UFC fights.
Yeah. I work with Sean on occasion and Matt, who's over there on Dr. Phil, the doctor, some studio stuff. But I'm also traveling around for about 15 years now with the UFC. Been doing the UFC shows for, I think, since 2006, 2005.
And are both shows kind of similar, between Dr. Phil and UFC?
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of beatings backstage.
This end and this end. Definitely different. Well, I came into the Dr. Phil world with a sports background, and I used to work with Lynn Hernstead, who's our director over there at NFL Network, and she brought me over to Dr. Phil. Obviously, different film production, but my background is definitely sports. Olympics, beach volleyball, and then I hooked up with UFC about 15 years ago.
Oh, very cool. So what show were you working on when you guys got the bad news? Was it Dr. Phil or UFC 2 or what?
Yeah. So it's interesting. We had about a month left of Dr. Phil before we went into our natural hiatus, the beginning of April, second week of April. So we lost that month. We pretty much lost a month of production there. And then for me, my summer, what I fill in was just a little bit more UFC, as well as X Games. I do the X Games, which is already been canceled. That was out of Minnesota. And then I also do beach volleyball. So the AVP, which hasn't canceled its season, we're postponed until, as of now, like the middle of July. But obviously, our season was supposed to start last weekend in Huntington Beach. Actually, was supposed to be our first event, and then Austin this weekend, and we have about 8 events, and so that's all been pushed back. Hopefully, that does return. An outdoor type of sport. Hopefully, we can get back and at least get 4 or 5 events back half of the summer. I've definitely lost a couple of months, but I'm hoping before we ramp up again with Dr. Phil in August, I'm hoping I can get a handful of sporting events that we can go ahead and do in probably June or July.
I know you probably can't give any details, but were you part of any of those meetings going on with Ultimate Fighting, trying to get right back in it and put content out? That must have been heavy.
Well, it's interesting enough that they're actually putting a show on this weekend.
Right.
They're all in Jacksonville. Dana wanted to have a show, and the UFC wanted to have a show, I think the last Saturday of April, and we're trying to have a show in an Indian reservation up in Northern California. But that kind of fell apart at the last second. A lot of pressure from the governor of California, and just it wasn't ready yet. But Dana and the UFC this weekend is putting a show together in Jacksonville. They found a venue that obviously no fans, and they're going to do, I think, 3 shows in a matter of 8 or 9 days. Boom, boom, boom. Same venue, no fans. And so I've been in contact with, I've been working with these guys forever, the core UFC crew. And a lot of them are, traveled in yesterday. In the pictures of the empty airplane, the empty airport, and they're probably in a pre-pro day today, and they're going to try to pull it off and do a show on Saturday. So I'm very anxious, obviously, curious to see how that goes, and hopefully they can put something together.
Yeah, we're all starving for content, especially the sports world. I'm a big sports guy. It's been tough. I watched all the hockey Stanley Cup playoffs from last year, from 1976, football, the whole 9 yards. So, I'm ready to watch some of the baseball games. What is it, Korean baseball?
Yeah, Dustin, one of the utility guys we work with, he said, "Yeah, I'm watching Korean baseball." I'm like, really? And then I think NASCAR's coming back the 14th or the 17th. NASCAR's coming back, so maybe everybody will get back to normal a little bit, so we got something to watch on TV.
We're definitely starved. I mean, we're definitely sports fans. I mean, we're looking at. I think the Mountain did like the strongest deadlift, and this has got big ratings a couple days ago. I mean, we're looking for anything. We're looking for anything. And Dana's, he's always been at the forefront and pushing, and it's not surprising that they're one of the first organizations to try to put something together. I think bull riding has done some stuff. Obviously no fans. WWE, which again was out of Florida, and they've been doing shows I think on a weekly basis. So it made sense that we're in Florida trying to put something together. And I'm just hoping, fingers crossed that it goes smoothly. I'm sure there's a lot of testing going on, all the precautions, all the necessary measures, and, hopefully they can put a show together. And, they have a new facility in Las Vegas that was ramping up and was going to start doing production probably this summer. It's called the Apex. And they're looking. I'm not surprised that that would be the next step for some of these fights to hopefully go off. Their backyard there in Las Vegas. So
controlled environment.
I think that's how they're going to phase it in, and hopefully, I'm saying for me July maybe, but I'm hoping and I wouldn't be surprised if I can maybe get a couple of those shows, maybe even as early as next month, in June. Right. Again, fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed for sure for everybody involved.
And what have you picked up any new hobbies, or what have you been doing to stay keep your mind busy while this is all going on?
Whole new appreciation for our teachers. I'm sure you've had plenty of people that are doing this homeschooling stuff. I mean, it's mind-boggling. So, my kids, I have twins. I have 12-year-old twins, boy, girl, and I've been. It's been an interesting process to get them up and running, and so far it's been decent. I mean, I've definitely stubbed my toes a little bit. But just getting them on point, and they've been doing a good job. And, I got a backyard here. I know Matt Cleveland, who's over there. I've had a couple parties, and he's been over to my house, a big garden, tons of gardening, backyard.
Yeah, we love that.
Cooking, and pretty grateful that I've got, I got a little park nearby that's still, staying open. So, be able to get outside, and it's been okay. And it's definitely hasn't been the worst thing in the world. But, this parenting, this teacher thing, this teaching thing, man, that's crazy.
I don't know how they don't drink all day.
We've probably all said it before, but teachers and the medical profession. I mean, I think that's one that's still lining that when we're done with this, I think across the globe, across the country, a whole new appreciation for what those two industries do. It's amazing.
Yeah, 100%.
I agree fully. Got both of them professions. You have to be patient like no one else.
Yeah, I don't know how they do it.
It is unbelievable.
The homeschooling thing is, it's crazy.
Real quick story here, guys. Actually, going back to we were talking about the UFC. One of the weirdest experiences I had, and it's something that they're going to do this weekend.
Are you sure? Wait, hang on. This is a kid show. How about the next one? No, go ahead.
I got plenty of those stories. I was actually in Brazil. That whole kind of like when Tom Hanks announced the coronavirus. I think NBA and everything happened at almost the same time.
Yeah.
And we shut down. It was like a Wednesday. I was actually on a flight going to do a UFC show in Brazil. And I was, kind of had some trepidation going into it. But, we had the show, so I jumped on the plane thinking it might be my last show for a while. I get there, and we did this show, but with no fans. And that's what they're doing this weekend. You guys have probably done sports. I've definitely obviously gone to sporting events. One of the weirdest, strangest experiences I've ever done in my career was doing this production with all you had is fighters. You had the judges, you had the quarterman, the ref, and 10 camera guys. It was a real surreal experience, and I do think obviously that's what they're going to do this weekend. But I do think when some of these sports, actually all these sports, come back into the fray, that's what we're going to see. I mean, it's going to be as weird as it is to watch these events with no fans. Being there and doing production and working these events, it is not something that we're going to get used to anytime quick. It is really a surreal experience.
Yeah, it's a whole different deal. I was watching like the Korean baseball, which is kind of weird. They had cutouts and stuff in the crowd, and it's just a different animal. But we got to do what we got to do to get back, I think.
It's the new normal. Definitely.
Well, thank you for stopping by and
Jeremy, thank you very much for coming by. Good
giving us
talking
some,
to you.
yeah, giving us some good insight. And stay healthy and safe. And we'll see you soon.
Look forward to it.
Johnny.
There he is. We lost you for a sec,
Yeah.
Jeremy. Thanks so much, man. Just want to say thanks again.
Guys.
Be safe. Enjoy the Twins.
All right, man. Sounds good. Thanks, guys.
All right.
it
Thanks
easy.
for coming on. Talk to you later.
Shawnee, what's new? So how's your family?
They're going crazy.
Yeah.
I think my daughter actually went hiking yesterday.
Wow.
And Vaughn, he just hangs out in the backyard.
Vaughn's easy.
Yeah, he's easy money.
Yeah.
So, and my wife's still working, so I'm pretty fortunate. So,
Good.
but another great guest,
Yes,
UFC,
great
Dr.
guest.
Phil,
Yeah.
Jeremy. He's another great guy we work with. So we'll see who we got next. And thanks for coming by.
Yep. Thanks for watching, everyone.